Hello and welcome to Karborundum. Here we're launching some station supplies. I have a little rocket here that's somewhere between Blue Origin and SpaceX, so we're covering the first stage. And then you see our main little drone with a canister of supplies on the end for the station. Due to the way that we have to grind things when we have a life support mod installed, we have to constantly send up supplies. So this is quite a big part of what we've been doing, is keeping it supplied to keep the people fed and generate more science from the orbital laboratory. Now this second stage that we're sending is actually a mission out to the Hubble telescope, or my equivalent of the Hubble telescope. We have a nuclear engine on the back there because it requires a bit more delta V because it's out in quite a deep orbit, somewhere closer out to the moon. Just getting everything set up, transferring out to the Hubble. And once we're out there, we're actually going to be fitting new equipment to the telescope as it is, and then performing a few missions. I had the misfortune of pointing it at the sun, which blew up one of the lasers. One of the lenses. So this is what we're doing. Here we are, just getting close. And then a little Kerbal. Engineer as usual. Just fitting our new parts out there. And then there's a few more parts that I'm going to tag onto the outside, and I'm actually putting a storage box on it with a few extra lenses just in case. So yeah, that's this mission. And once we get it all sorted, then we start doing some of the observations. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the things that are required for the mission, as you can see on the top right, but then I'm also taking the same measurements and transferring them out to some of my laboratories on the space stations that I have. There's obviously one at Moon, one at Minmus, one at Kerbal Orbit. And now, here's the big mission. This is sending out a craft for recovery of people that are on the station. But it's also got a lander on board for another mission that is required to get polar readings, science from the polar regions of the moon. So I'm basically sending an Apollo style mission, but it can also dock to the space station. The readings are required to be brought back to the moon space station. So there we go, just setting up the transfer. And just to get everything set up. Just taking a little Apollo equivalent. Now I'm not sacrificing the back booster just yet because there's more fuel in it, so although I do have the Delta V and the Apollo module to push it out, you save everything that you've got. So just docking this together. Here we are once we get to the moon. Just doing a bit further out to try and intercept the station as it goes back, making it nice and quick to get a rendezvous. And I'm using MechJib for a lot of this just because it's easy. I love it. There's a lot of purists that don't like MechJib being used, but at the end of the day, this is how they do it. There's been very few manned missions that have actually been flown entirely from the pilot, so MechJib is the way that they do it. Here we are, closer to the moon station. Now, as you saw in a previous video, the Minmus station is almost a carbon copy of this. However, the Minmus station was launched with the two modules. You can see one there just on the bottom of it sticking out. It was launched with two residential modules. This station was launched without them, and that module was sent up afterwards. And because of laziness and not being required to do it, because it seems to last long enough without it, I didn't send the second module. I've just left it like this. And with the usefulness of the moon, I'm actually going to retire this station fairly soon. So I'm just getting the last of the science out of it and then sending it away. So there we go. Again, keeping that last section of the booster on while it's got fuel in it until the last minute. Just off the low orbit. And finding the landing place. Now, as you can see on the bottom there, there's a little black section which is actually a container. And I have in it some surface experiments to put down as well to generate a bit more science. I'm trying to put these down wherever I do a landing. So, old fare. I'll admit I'm not the best pilot, and my mistake here was to actually land in the wrong place because the geometry of the poles is so steep. I ended up landing into a valley and having no solar power, so I managed to and mess up the landing as usual. But there we go, recovered. So now it's out to grab our surface sample or science and start putting down our little base station. This is the surface experiment package. There we go, and I cut out most of this because it was a lot of time setting this up. But I managed to throw down everything. I actually took too many things up. I took some experiments that are for atmosphered places. But there we go, join everything up. And then head back to the station. I'll admit I actually managed to royally mess up the rendezvous here, and that's why I had to. I was hoping to keep this lander intact for a few more landings, but I managed to mess it up so badly that I had to ditch a stage and go to my backup fuel. Now on to our next mission. It's a nice simple one. It's just launching a polar ScanSat satellite just to start scanning Carbon. Getting the planet sorted and more science as usual. They're starting to use liquid hydrogen engines a bit more. This is our first spaceship, true spaceship. This is not intended to return in any way, shape or form. This is built for taking supplies from Kerbal orbit out to the moon and Minmus. It should have the ability to get out to Juna if you do it very economically. But I have a major problem, which you can see here. I'm starting up the reactors. This is the first thing. It has nuclear engines, but it also has nuclear reactors for power, alongside a couple of solar panels for batteries. And I forgot to add in any radiators. So the two nuclear power plants, which you can see sort of between the fuel tanks and the central module. More cooling panels. But this was my first attempt at a spaceship, and I wanted to make it single launch just so it was easy. The cockpit module at the front of it is from the Umbra Space Industries, I want to say containers pack or construction pack. It's one of Rover Dude's packs. I download the Constellation every time, so that's the best way of doing it. A lot of good stuff in this. Here we go, just getting her intercept orbit out on the moon, trying to get more supplies out there. had to do to actually make this work. Luckily, I don't have that many people on board, so I don't need all the life support running. So I've had to close down a few of the life support modules, the recyclers, just to make sure that I've got enough electricity to run everything when it's in the shadow of the moon, or the shadow of carbon. But it seems to be doing well. Here we go, just putting the supplies on. And I noticed there's a small problem with it. Occasionally this little transfer mod has issues, as you can see. But there we go, thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next episode.